Have you ever wondered how you calculate overdrive, or how you can at least visually see how much overdrive you have? Well, I am suspecting that this vehicle has underdrive in the front and standard ratios in the rear, and first I need to check that. So we're gonna do that, and then maybe I'll be wrenching on my rig. So by far, I feel the easiest way to check for overdrive or underdrive or screwy gearing in general is to mark the tires and simply spin them. At least that's what we're going to do today. Now I could just go drive it. If I had my radio, I'd totally do that. But we don't have my radio, so what I'm going to do is simply mark the top of my tires, and then I'm going to spin the tires manually a few times, and we will see if there's a mismatch. All right, so this is, more or less on top. And if there's overdrive, then this should spin more than the rear. And if there's underdrive, well, you only want overdrive in the front or underdrive in the rear. You don't want the rear spinning faster than the fronts. But we're gonna test this out. So, well, I can tell it's slipping already. That's one revolution. You can see this one's already back. There's 2 revolutions, we're back like about a third. There we go, there's 3 revolutions. We're down a quarter. So you could actually do the math based on this. If it's a nice round looking thing, yeah, we're down 25% after 3 revolutions. So the amount of underdrive isn't actually 25%, it would be a little bit less than that. But yeah, we can tell that the fronts are spinning slower than the rears, and that is definitely not the way that we want to go. And I can actually feel it slipping while I'm doing all of this as well. So 4 rotations, it's not quite at a half down there. If it was 4 rotations, then that would be a eighth, whatever the eighth is in percentage wise. So this is about 10% difference in overdrive front to rear. Now, good thing I still have a stock axle in the back, because if I remember correctly, I should be able to just turn this axle, take these 4 bolts out, and then we can exchange our gears pretty simply. We'll see if it goes that smooth. Usually things don't. Not with me, at least. But I guess we'll just do this real quick. Let's wrench. I already have the right tools ready, I hope. Just to make this a little easier, I will take off the wheels. Good old Vanquish drivers, 7mm. There we go, and hopefully, is this a plastic hex? Do I have plastic hexes hiding inside here? Just waiting to break them. Hey, whatever works though, right? Now I'm wondering, am I gonna be able to take out the center without taking off the outers? Because there are 2 screws here on the end, and it might be necessary to take those out and then pull these axles out to get that. I guess we'll find out as we go. And hey, I do need a smaller, here we go, this little guy, because it looks like we'll have to take off our hexes potentially. And if we don't have to do that, then I won't. Huh, so this just traps our ball bearings. I guess I'll need to look on the inside and see how it's all held. Wow, y'all hear that? What is that? It's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex emptying a trash receptacle. All right, I'm gonna pull these, no, we'll pull the hex off first so I don't break things. That's what I'm gonna do. If this is a plastic hex, they still have, is it plastic? No, it's metal. No, it's metal. It's just so dirty it looked like plastic. Cool. All right, so I am going to loosen this, and we'll see if the shaft just slides out. Almost puzzling. You can tell that I haven't taken apart the Wraith axles, the Wraith 1.9 axles. except for the fronts. But the fronts, they're all the same because of the way that the knuckles have to attach. It's pretty standard. But on rear axles, you have some leeway of design. So this should allow. All right, so now we've got play. We also have a spacer. There we go. Yeah. So I see. They have a stop on that side of the ball bearing, and if the ball bearing can't get out, that means your axle shaft can't get out. So this is going to be our method. And I'm not sure if there's left side, right side. So I'm gonna put everything on left side and right side so that I don't mess up. Because I know me. I've got a prototype Magnum motor in this rig, and they don't really just like to free coast. There's a lot of inherent drag brake in them, which is really nice when you're on the rocks. Maybe not so nice when you're trying to spin things by hand. But a lot of inherent drag to them. Large rotor, very large rotors. A 28mm rotor to be exact, or armature as most people would call them in the brushed motor days. I'd have to look back and see how long it's been since I've driven this rig. Seems like it's been a really long time. It's been broken for quite a while. Maybe y'all have the same thing. Do y'all have rigs that have been on the shelf for a long time? And maybe it's just an issue with me having so many rigs that, well, you know, if this one sits broken for a while, I can still go crawl because I have other ones. Yes. Look at that, super smooth. All right, so if I disconnect these right here, I should be able to rotate the axle, which is going to be the easiest location to remove from. Maybe the skid plates. Oh yeah, plastic threaded. Definitely less threads per inch on these plastic threaded screws. All right, so is it going to go? No, my drive shaft's in the way. Silly me, I guess. Well, yeah, I can still reach it. We'll do it. So if I don't take off this drive shaft, the pinion should stay in the housing, ideally. I don't know if it will. It should. If it doesn't, there's going to be other problems, but that'll hold it together, and I should be able to slide the locker out. Just slide it out. Easy as that. Easy as pie. Which, making pie is really not that easy. There's a lot of ways to mess up pie. Maybe it's easy as pie if you have a pre-made crust and filling. At that point, there's not much making to it. Maybe dust a little powdered sugar on top. And you can tell everybody at the work party, I made this pie. Are these things that normal people think about and have to deal with? Am I calling myself not normal? All right, let's see if these screws are the same length, top to bottom. Yes. That way we know we can exchange them. And it'll be all right. But you got to be careful about that, because sometimes screws will look identical and be very slightly different. And then when you go to put it back together, it's a problem because they were slightly different. All right, so I took these 4 screws out. And I guess this will be called a third member. The third member has the bearing integrated into it. This is the stock. All right, so I'm gonna need a locker for this too. I'll need gears and a locker. Oh, hey, look, and we got broken gears. Thank you, Magnum motor. All right, so that means that I need to replace the pinion as well. And I guess if I had put underdrive in, yeah, I've got underdrive in the front, I need underdrive in the rear. I like to reinstall the screws into these because it has this plastic cap, and a lot of times it'll just fall apart. So I don't really want that. Then we're just gonna boop, pop that out. Let's save that bearing. Let's see, any teeth missing on this? No, but they're very sharp. Very, very sharp. Woo, yuck. So where are the metal bits that are missing off the other tooth? That's the question. That's the question that I have, at least. There we go. I don't have any grease. Shucks. Oh, we've got some in the other room. I'll have to steal it. Haven't quite gotten my wrenching studio put back together fully. All right, there's only one way that these can go together. So I can just take it apart willy-nilly. Nilly-willy. There we go. Hey, we got a grub screw. There we go. There we go. Axial underdrive gear set. Boom. And then we should just need a locker. Well, now that we've torn everything apart, we can say that our visual indication of the underdrive being in the front and regular ratio being in the rear was in fact correct. This is the stock gear set that we found on the inside. We could count the teeth, but I know it's stock because it's a one-piece centered metal thing, and it also is missing a little bit of tooth on that, so it needs to be replaced anyways. And here we go. This is the underdrive kit from Vanquish, and I can tell you that I installed that in the front, so confirmation. I just need to install that into the rear, so it's time to find my locker, and we will do that and then go crawling. So if you've got any questions about underdrive and how to use it, or when you would want overdrive, underdrive, etc., leave your comments down below. We'll do our best to get to them. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.